In the depths of Bitter Black Isle, the Chimera stalks his prey with merciless strength and vigor. But in just a moment, the beast will find itself stuck in a slow-motion state. A strange intersection in the Shadowland called the Torpor Zone.
That's right, if you're having any problem with a large monster or a boss or anything like that in Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, there is a very easy way very early in the game where you can make it much easier for yourself, and that is the rusted weapons. Here I'm showing the rusted bow. These are weapons that you can get very early in the game, and if you just level them up to level 3, they inflict a status called Torpor, and for the next 30 seconds, that monster will move dramatically slower, they'll cast spells slower, they'll fall, they'll flail, they'll do everything much slower, essentially putting you in a slow-mo mode where it's going to be easy for you to go and whack on the monsters, heal, and do other stuff like that. Because you can carry multiple weapons on you, all you need is a rusted weapon to inflict them with the status, switch over to your main weapon, and go to town. In this video, I'm going to show you where to get the bows, the 3 of them, but I am going to put a link in the description down below which shows the location of every single rusted weapon that you can get in the game. This is something you can get right after you reach the main city of Grand Soren. I'm just walking down the road and you notice we have 2 piles here. These have an RNG that can produce a rusted weapon. This first one here can produce the rusted weapon for the magic archer, so go ahead and save your game, and what you're going to do is you're going to pick up the spot, and if you get the rare drop, great, save your game again. If not, you're either going to want to commit suicide by jumping into the river, dying from an enemy, jumping off a cliff, and if you're post-game or post-dragon, so to say, you do have the God's Bane, which is a very fast way for you to kill your character and choose retry. Don't use retry from checkpoint, but just retry. It brings you back to the state in which you last saved your game. You can, of course, also just exit the game without saving and reboot your game. It takes a little bit of time, but if you're finding that faster, you only have to do this once for the bow of your choice early on in the game, so it's worth it in my opinion. Getting some bad luck here, the second spot here can actually produce rusted daggers or the rusted shield. So if you are playing a class that can use that, like Assassin or Strider, go ahead and farm that spot. We're going to farm this one, and after a few tries we got the rusted spell bow. You might actually have some of the rusted weapons when you start the game, so make sure you hang on to them, don't sell them, they're definitely useful, but let me show you where you can get the other 2 bows as well while I'm at it. From this spot we're just going to run up ahead here, I'm just going to fast forward it. Now my stamina is not depleting because I'm very far in the game and I've got skills that can make it so I can run without using much stamina. You're obviously going to have a harder time, so maybe buy a bunch of mushrooms and you should be okay. Okay, once we come into this impasse with the 2 rocks sort of there, we have another spot on our left. Go ahead and save your game. This is where it is on the larger map. All 3 of these bows are on the same trail, so you can grab them in one single run. Go ahead, save your game. Reset it a few times, just keep pulling from the spot until you get the bow. So we're going to pick it up here, and there we go, the rusted bow. This is something that you'll use for classes like the Strider or the Assassin, and it's not something that you can use with Ranger or Magic Archer, so that's what the other bows are for. And finally, just a little bit more up from that path, all the way again from Grand Soren, is where you're going to find the rusted longbow, which is what you're going to need if you want to play as a Ranger. I actually didn't have to reset my game, I got on the first try. Ignore that glowing crystal, you won't have that. That's just a warp spot that I placed here so that I could easily go back and farm it because I wanted one for my pawn as well. Let's go ahead and collect here, and boom, we got the rusted longbow. So let's go back to the town, and what we're going to do is we're going to enhance the weapons, which is going to unlock that awesome ability. So let's take a quick look at the rusted longbow. If we level it up from level 1 to 2 to 3, it gets poison ability at level 2, which is whatever. But at level 3 it unlocks Torpor, and that is the status ailment that will for 30 seconds slow down enemies, including a lot of bosses, to absolute molasses speed. Luckily you can buy almost all these things, if not all of them, from the Black Cat. He might be in a different location for you because I'm in the end game, but the Black Cat, just look it up online where he is. He's the forger. He will sell all these items that are great for upgrading your weapons early on in the game. Let's go over here and we're going to level it up to level 3. If you notice, the strength really is nothing. 35 is not going to be used to be killing enemies. What you're going to do is hold this as a sub bow so that you can inflict the status, and then you're going to pull out your main weapon and go to town. Now the way status works, you can just hit the enemy with a normal attack or whatever, but if you're using the bow, especially for Ranger, I love Spiral Arrow. What it does is it does several hits as it goes through the monster, almost like a pure shot in a game like Monster Hunter. But anyways, now that we have a level 3 rusted weapon, let's go ahead and use it. We notice the Drake up here. This is very late game. Flapping normal, he moves pretty fast when he's on the ground. But with our rusted longbow equipped, we're going to hit him with 2 shots of the Spiral Arrow and watch his speed just go down. There it is. And for the next 30 seconds, he's just going to move like a timid cat. go ahead and switch your weapon back to your main one that you're going to be doing damage with, and then just wail on the monster. That wasn't a drop in frame rate. They actually fall at half speed and they wail at half speed. Again, this is just an awesome skill. It feels a little bit like cheating, but you know what? This was a purposeful design choice that they made by having these weapons. It's another reason why there's small mobs that kind of bother you when you're off against boss monsters. This is just one tool in your tool set to deal with them. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until next time, happy hunting.